And we're live. Boop a doop boop boop boop.
Scoop de boop 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 sex.
Speaking of which, I'm going to retweet it from the community account.
Oh yeah, I should retweet it from my account. Shouldn't I? I feel so weird. Fucking. I kind of.
What?
Feel so fucking weird right now. Just be like, hey, watch us fuck around for an hour.
Mm-hmm. I have mixed feelings on it because, like, I've seen a lot of like people in the sphere I follow, like, canceling their shows. But at the same time, like that dude Dwayne, who like you've interacted with now a couple times, like he made a good, like he tweeted and made a good point, like maybe don't like cancel your stuff because people might need it right now, and also that's a platform you can use. So
yeah, like we'll have the whole address up front, but like Morty.
Who's watching live right now? Who caught your
burp? Hey, friends!
All right,
Band turbo for the show. Gonna make sure my phone don't be like a phone and ring during the show.
I already did it. Okay.
The show, don't ring it now.
Real quick. I'm gonna put the link on the Instagram.
Link me now down to downtown.
Okay, I'm already there. So all I gotta do is take a picture, not of my face, of the stream.
Take a pictures. Picture time. Loosely Confined. Skip my dabs tonight. I don't want to let you. Oh, R.I.P. Brooklyn Nine-Nine. That show is going to be gone after this.
Yeah, it's hard to justify it.
Yeah.
See, like, we can actually talk about this on the main show if you want, but like, my feeling on Brooklyn Nine-Nine has always kind of been like, it sucks that it's a cop show because like in other ways it's like way better than so many other shows. Like,
it's such a good just sitcom, but like it's like the backdrop is kind of just unfortunate.
Yeah, and it's like it's not. There are like episodes where you can like kind of ignore it, but even then, like there'll be episodes where like Rosa, who's like I think one of the better characters on the show, will like joke about like beating the shit out of a suspect, and it's like,
yeah, having one of the main characters like main attributes being like violent, but like in an endearing way. Like, we understand Rosa. Okay, well, what about the kid that she beat the shit out of for selling an eighth outside of fucking NYU? Like,
and it's like, if it's any other Office show, it's like, haha, they're just being a little extra, but like it just feels too real.
Yeah.
And it's like,
no, because like if you see someone fucking pinning, like if you see police brutality out there, oh well, maybe they're just like Rosa Diaz.
And it's a shame. Like I want them to somehow take those characters and put them in another show. Like,
honestly,
just
have a reboot it. They all quit.
Yo, honestly, like that would be something.
If they wanted to end the show and just be like, "Hey, we all quit. We'll figure it out. Boyle is going to open up a restaurant. Here we go."
Honestly, dude,
I would still watch that.
Absolutely. If they all just like quit the NYPD and like just went on to something else.
I'm saying,
high key.
Hey, who I don't know who the fuck is in charge of Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
It's one of those dudes, fucking Dan Gore, Michael Shore. It's the dude, Michael Shore. He's like the guy who does The Office and Parks and Rec.
Yeah, I think it's Mose. Let me double check that. Michael Shore. Yeah, Michael Shore is Mose. Checking for his affiliation with Brooklyn
He's Mose?
Mose, yeah. Dwight's cousin.
Oh, I didn't realize he had an actual role on the show.
Like no, it's very minor, but like anytime you see, like for one thing, he's like very like quiet, and like their whole thing is there. I mean, you've seen the show, right?
Which one? The Office. The Office. I mean, like here and there.
Okay, so like yeah, Dwight's whole thing is his family is like not Amish, but like early, like like I feel like he probably would more identify with like being German than American,
and
like whatever.
Yeah.
They're like super rural and they live on a farm, and Mose is just like the weird, like the camera will pan over and Mose is standing there and like, that's the gag. Like Mose is weird.
That's funny. All right, I'm gonna start the music. Here we go. Mad that they don't give an option for me to like smoothly transition out of that, but
okay, yeah, no,
we'll do what we need to do.
Entire time, I was like, I can't hear, not a goddamn.
No worries, no worries. Hello, everyone.
Hi, friends. Hello. So that's the thing. I want to get the like reality bit out of the way, because I still feel weird doing this. Like, I don't, if you don't know what we're referring to, I mean, I'm gonna be as bold as to say, just go ahead and either stop watching now and go inform yourself, and then come back, because we are not. Like, I am not prepared to fucking unpack everything.
Yeah.
I
must be a comfortable rock you're living under.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I don't. Yeah. I don't know. It's just I've been like, it's occupied like just my mind space for the last like several days. Like pretty much as soon as I wake up, it's Twitter.
Yeah.
And then panic and paranoia and like the need to do something and the not sure what to do and all that shit. So like, if you're like me, we have links in the description for different causes that you can donate to, and and there's the like just general info one, right?
I put a link for a Twitter thread of different bail funds that people can follow, but honestly, like, there's a lot of people just sharing good stuff on Twitter, so just like, if you follow that account, they link to a bunch of other ones, and you can go from there to other areas. It's the smaller things that need the most support right now, because a lot of these like bigger bail funds or just bigger fundraising things have actually met a lot of their goals, which has been really cool to see. So right now it's really the people who have boots on the ground that need the most support. So it's like, honestly, like it's changing every second, like who is asking and who is in need. So like, just if you're gonna give money, like just be proactive and make sure your information's up to date. Ran into that earlier today actually, and then just matched my own donation to another
also
thing.
Just for, I don't want any level of ambiguity. If this somehow is your first episode of Loosely Confined, welcome.
Yeah.
First of all, also we are Black Lives Matter. Like, I'm not one of those weird black Trumpers. Yeah, fuck right.
We should be clear about.
I wore the goddamn shirt. I'm sweating right now because I wore this, and you can't even fucking see it. But and ironically bought from a racist, but I learned that after the fact. So my friend was so this I bought because my friend was working for this company that will not go named, because I don't know if they've improved their practices or been worse, and I don't want to promote them if people, I don't know. But saw this and I was like, oh, I know that my friend works for this company. Like, I'll fucking go. I don't know what is gonna get back to him, but I assume he'll get some of this, and cool. And this is a dope sweatshirt. Yeah. And then I ran into that friend and I was like, yeah, I bought the fuck racism sweatshirt. And he was like, oh yeah, no, I stopped working there. And I was like, why? And he was like, because the boss was fucking racist. So like, yeah. Fuck racism, Black Lives Matter.
We stand with the protesters.
Yeah, stand with the protesters.
Not with the
fucking exhausted.
Yep.
But now nonsense.
Nonsense. Yeah, we didn't really plan anything for today for a number of reasons, even before.
It was before George Floyd. Like this is, we were both kind of feeling like, and I keep moving my goddamn wires as though that's not gonna come in through the sound. I'm just like, I don't like that it's touching my leg. I'm gonna disrupt the entire audio quality of this fucking show. Yeah, I kind of didn't want to. Let's fucking just rant about whatever the fuck. Yeah. That's not what's going on right now, because I don't feel comfortable. Like, I don't want to put myself as an expert and then say something that's not entirely true, and then I mischaracterize the entire thing. Like I support the protesters. Follow me on Twitter. How about that? If you want to see what I'm thinking, follow me on fucking Twitter.
Yeah. Neither of us have been ambiguous on our social media about where we stand. So the conversation can happen there. I think a lot of people, like a lot of people, were tired, and it's been a long day and it's been a long week, and it's the end of the week now. So, hopefully everyone who went to protest is home safe, and or if you're still out there and you're probably not listening to this right now, and
you're out there, definitely. I mean, if you are out there right now and you're listening to this, props. Like, we will have you on the next show. Like, I don't know where your priorities really lie, but I'm with it. I
fuck with the grind there. But yeah, if you're home and you're safe, that's good. It's Sunday night. Let's relax.
I'm sorry. Just imagine. And this is not something I don't want to, I don't really want to make fun of it, but I think it is a funny thought. You're at a protest and you see the fucking Humvees come in, and then some guy next to you is just like, "Yo, check out this podcast." It's just us.
It's just two fucking dumbasses who don't know what they're talking about.
And no, The Dark Knight Rises is way better than Batman Begins.
That's wrong.
It's true.
Well,
shit. Let's make that the fucking topic of the show. Let's rate Dark Knight Rises as a whole.
I need to watch it again.
I don't want to have this conversation.
Yeah, I do need to watch it again. Remember when it was a running thing for like a year that we needed to watch we needed to finish watching it? I think we even started it, but like,
no, we definitely started. That was The Dark Knight Returns, right? The animated one.
Oh,
it was in 2 parts. We started it in someone's room.
Right. We watched the first part, but we didn't watch the second part. That's
like,
right.
Someone had a test or something, and we were like, okay, we'll reconvene tomorrow.
I thought it was The Dark Knight Rises.
No,
did we?
No, because that's where we started saying "coup."
That's true. I'm trying to think though. Didn't we do like a Batman Day marathon and then just didn't finish watching all 3 of them, like with the Dark Knight trilogy? I thought we did.
I don't think it was like Batman Day thing. I think it was just we were bored.
Also equally possible.
Hey, you want to watch the Batman movies? And me and Johnny were like, yeah, and then we did.
Okay, yeah, I think that was it. You're right. I do have to go back and watch the whole trilogy again, because it's like I've seen Batman Begins a couple times. I think I've only seen The Dark Knight Rises from beginning to end once, to be honest, and maybe twice. And like The Dark Knight, I watch like once every 6 months at least. So like, it's very lopsided for me. But
I still think that I've probably seen The Dark Knight Rises about as many times as The Dark Knight. Yeah.
Wow.
Because with The Dark Knight, it was
when do you find the time?
That was the thing. When The Dark Knight came out, like when I got it on DVD specifically, it became like a matter of like, hey, is it not Monday through Friday? It's Dark Knight time, and then it became my go-to movie for a while. And also, it would just be on like TNT at random times.
Well,
and at any point, I would be like, this is going to be edited down, and I'm going to be upset, but let's do it. Then,
that's the thing. It's like it's not like I watch movies on cable anymore, but it's always been like The Dark Knight's always been one of those movies where if it's just on or on TV, or if I walk into someone's house and I could pretty much like any point in that movie, like if I watch it for like 3 minutes, I'm hooked and I gotta keep watching it. Like it's just it's like it doesn't get old either. It's just
honestly, to that kind of not nearly to the same quality, but just in terms of the amount of times I've seen, maybe not the movie like start to finish, but like just bits and pieces. Not Dark Phoenix, but Last Stand, X-Men 3.
Really?
I've seen that movie a shit ton of times just off of I'm waiting for whatever's next on FX. And
yeah, no, they played those movies all the time. That's definitely it was always like the worst movie in a given franchise.
And they would also do the whole extended, like, we're gonna have 2 white kids, like, just fucking, hey, this is what happened on set, and it's gonna be, we're gonna give you the most basic, like, hey, you know how they made the flying guy go up? They use wires. Here's the movie, and I'm like, why did we cut to this? Like, I'm not learning anything about filmmaking. Like,
they did that on FX. It was the DVD on TV thing. Yeah, I like randomly popped into my head a couple days ago, and I couldn't remember if it was real. But yeah, like that's like it was like a special version of like just a cable movie night. But like I guess the whole difference was that they showed like some of the special features from the DVD, but it was like not even the full thing. And you're right, it was like the most like boring host imaginable.
How did they make this person blue? Makeup. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. And maybe I was just desensitized because I'd been to Universal Studios a shit ton as a kid, but like, no, like for school. If you're in Southern California and you went to a public elementary school, you went to Universal Studios for random bullshit. Like, it's just,
wow.
Let me, like, at the end of the year, hey,
we went to the UN.
Ooh, so
I'm not bragging. That's the point.
I'd rather go to the UN than fucking Universal Studios. Universal Studios is trash. I'm also going to say that. Let's make this a hot takes episode.
I don't know if any of our takes can be hot enough for right now.
True. Yeah, honestly, we can just throw anything out into the void.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
So what should we talk about? I prepped this ahead of time. We like,
oh man, do our jobs for us. Just how about someone start an argument in the comment section, and then we'll just repeat it. Just one. I'll read from one perspective, you'll read from the other, and we'll just go back and forth like a table read.
Yeah, we should. I was just gonna say we should do a table read of something or dramatic reading of some bullshit.
I'm trying to think.
Oh, here comes the yawning.
The awning?
Yeah, the yawning. Shut up.
That's shady. Get it? Because awning.
Yeah.
Yeah. See.
Good one.
Yeah, I'm doing it. Yeah. This okay. You know what? Maybe we do need fucking topics of some kind.
Look, well, here let's start the show as I say.
I'm literally just looking around my room.
No, hold on.
Hey, you read Hamlet?
No, actually, that's not one of the ones we ever covered in school, so I haven't read it.
I enjoy it.
Yeah, I was surprised we never did that one in school. I mean, I've seen The Lion King.
Like, I can understand why they wouldn't want teenagers reading Hamlet, because it's like reading it as an adult, like Hamlet's such just an emo piece of shit, and I'm just like, and the whole point is that like the lack of motivation and like examining like agency and like your place in family and shit like that. But like, I hate him so much, but like I want to keep reading, like, and I don't read it. Never mind. What were you gonna say?
Well, that was my issue with a lot of the books we read in school. Is like, it was like, you got to read this because this is like the best character in literature, and then it would be like Catcher in the Rye. And I'm like, I want to fucking kill this Holden kid. Like, he needs to shut the fuck up.
I got like a 90, like a 95, like a high 90 on the Catcher in the Rye, like tests, like after the book test or whatever. I did not read that book.
Oh yeah, are you kidding? Like, if I could get away with the Spark Notes, I would do it.
I'm saying for pretty much most of. Yeah, for most of high school, I actually did the fucking homework until senior. Like, I didn't really learn about senioritis until like late junior year. So I was like, oh fuck,
why did no one tell me?
No, genuinely. And then like once I got accepted into Ithaca, that I was taking some class that I did AP Stats with Mr. Minyard. Fuck you. He because not even gonna explain why. Fuck you. Just believe me. Fuck you, and I will explain afterwards. Off camera. But when I got accepted to Ithaca, I was like, I don't want to take this class anymore. Can I just drop it, or is that going to affect anything? They're like, no, you're in, dude. You could like fail right now. Like, as long as you graduate, you're good. And I'm like, bet. And like, I remember like I was outside of my started lunch, walked directly into the counselor's office, and was like, I'm not going to AP Stats anymore. And he was like, cool. And that was it. Like,
dude, it's funny how little the rules matter once you have like a valid reason to ignore them.
Like
the amount of times I would even go into my like college council fucking what were they called, My counselor. Was it counselor?
Counselor,
sure. Is it
counselor?
Guidance counselor? You know what I meant. The advisor. That's the word I'm looking for.
Aha.
Yes.
Same shit.
I would like go in there and just be like, okay, so what do I have to do? And he'd be like, okay, well, honestly, this kind of counts for this, so you're good. And it would just be like, yeah, like take like this class, and then other than that, I mean, just what are you interested in? And I'd be like, honestly, dude, not a lot. And I would just like, then we would just like end the conversation, and then like I would decide my classes like the day of based on what was available. Like I always went in with like a tentative plan, had like half of them be full, and then just like on the fly decided what the hell I was gonna take.
I just remember so many times I would go into my like college advisor's room and be like, hey, like, and then like write down notes and then be like, okay, so this is the game plan. And then come back like a week later and be like, hey, so like the game plan still, and they're like, yeah, no. So we looked into that. No, like, no. So like, just, there was a lot, like, I don't know. I very much, I did like both of them. It was just,
well, I
didn't like going to them. Like,
I mean, you're in your school, wasn't it like everyone had like the same like 2 advisors or something like that? Like, I thought in Park or whatever, I
all like Park specific memories once I left. It was
good. That's good.
I'm trying to think of a fucking comparison. I don't know. Memory wipe.
Honestly, it's been a full year now since we graduated. I mean, for you, it's been almost a year and a half. But like it went by quick, and yeah, here we are doing this still.
Yeah, I don't really have any like serious deep thoughts on college way after the fact.
Yeah,
I just feel so far removed from it at this point. Like, I don't know. Like, if there'll be times where we're talking, or like you, me, and Johnny will be playing Overwatch or something. Or I was gonna try to correct the grammar on that. I don't care anymore. I'm just like, no. If there's a time for me to fucking not care about grammar, it's now. Like I'm de-stressing. Fuck. I put on this goddamn sweater for this, and I'm sweating so much, and I can't have the fan on, or it'll disrupt the audio. And now I'm doing the I don't know what this is, but I do it a lot.
Hey.
No, this is the white power symbol. Fuck. God damn it.
Oh, yes. Fuck, you're right.
Yes. Some fucking okay. So I don't know if I can even. No, I'm not gonna. I was gonna potentially break an NDA that I don't remember signing.
Okay. Yeah. Don't potentially put yourself at legal risk right now.
Because everyone that I've ever worked for watches this.
Yeah. Everyone.
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 What's your favorite video game of all time? Just let's talk about it.
My default answer for years was Red Dead Redemption, the first one. But more recently, actually, it was when we started doing those like end of the decade lists that we never really finished, or didn't really share. I guess, I mean, I finished a couple of them, just not the music ones. But
I put in a bunch of placeholders being like, I'll fix this, and then I didn't.
We were like talking about it regularly for like a solid month, and then just like New Year's hit, and even though most of us were all together, it was still just like no one even brought it up.
Also, like, if one person doesn't finish this, then you were like cut off. Like, not seriously, but like,
it was literally like, come on, is everyone working on them? Are you working? Are you you're running out of time? And then like we were all together on New Year's, and it was still just like no one even mentioned it. Like no one even asked.
The missiles didn't drop, so we're still gonna talk. Like,
I don't know. Keep thinking about it. But when I was making that, I put Skyrim at number 1, and honestly, I think that's like probably my answer, because it's like I don't know if there's a game that I've put more time into that I still want to go. Like I want to put another 100 hours into Skyrim like right now. Like I could and I would, and like the amount, like I've still so much stuff I haven't done in that game. I've put hundreds of hours into it, and I've never beaten the main campaign. I've never beaten the like rebellion storyline thing. I've never beaten any of the guilds except for like 1 or 2 of them. There's so much crap I have not done in that game, and yet I keep replaying like the opening hours. Yeah, no, the DLC I've never done. Like it's I probably could, like, if I had to choose one game to play for the rest of my life, it would be that, like, honestly. And then, beyond that, like, like if we're talking about just what game do I like have the most pure joy in, like in, it's probably Overwatch. Like even though it grinds my fucking
I was
gears
about to say
to a
most pure
halt.
joy. Let's
Like
examine those words.
if we're talking about like what has been like my most like just I'm trying to think of the right words, like the like the flow state, just like in terms of just like pure like blissful like moments of gaming, like having like a good Overwatch play like is like a high that I've not found in any other video game.
Yeah, there is a lot of like, I don't know. I feel like Overwatch can be so fucking rewarding. And also, I'm not disagreeing. Like, it's probably like when I asked that question, I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna have to answer this in a second." And like Overwatch is probably. I mean, out of the games that I've played like ongoing, like if you broke up the Smashes to their individual installments, like none of them would really count. I don't think.
That's my problem. Like
I mean,
with that
Ultimate, like, I played
series,
a
yeah,
ton of Ultimate, but
yeah.
like I'm still not even close to what I was in Brawl to where I was in Smash 4 yet. So like, but like Overwatch, I had the one dry spell where I was just like, "Fuck this game" for like 2-3 months, and then y'all brought me back into it, and like since then it's been like
well, there was like a solid year we didn't play, like summer of like 2017 to summer of 2018 we pretty much didn't play.
I
Or
really
so 2018 to 2019, I think. No, there was like I'm pretty sure like almost a full year we didn't play, like between the summers of 2018 and 2019, because I remember when we came back it was like, yeah, we haven't played in a while.
Yeah.
And I like don't remember playing in my last apartment. Like I don't remember, like except for like occasionally like diving in when a new character came out. But even then, like I remember coming back and like 3 new heroes had come out that I had never touched before.
Shit, yeah.
Yeah, because we like stopped playing like right after Hammond came out,
yeah,
and then
when we came back,
yeah, Sigma, Ashe, and I think Baptiste were all out by then. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't even put it in there. You know, yeah. I mean, okay, never mind. I thought that was only a few months. No.
Well, it just feels like it. I mean, part of it is that I keep thinking that summer 2019 was like recent, but we're in summer 2020 now, so like it's June tomorrow.
Fuck yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, Overwatch is great. I think that my thing with Overwatch, like, and it's not necessarily even the game's fault? Question mark. Because I'm still not even sure that I believe this as I'm saying it. But like, I feel like the community is largely like responsible for the good and the bad that comes from Overwatch. Why am I out of focus? I don't like this. I feel like I don't know, like there are just so many games where I will like, so right now the general like players want to play damage, so that means that if you want to play damage, so does everyone else. So your like wait times are going to be longer.
Yeah,
and like Blizzard did design the damage players to be the most fun to play. Like that's kind of, but I also don't know how they could have done it any other way, because like reflex based, like the DPS characters are a lot more reflex based, and I feel like that's more. If you want to play an FPS, that's you gravitate toward the twitchy people.
Well, and that's the thing. It's like if you're really into Overwatch like we are, you might play tanker healer because like you love Overwatch, and those are much more specific to that game. But yeah, if like I still enjoy playing damage, and anyone who's not specifically an Overwatch fan is probably going to default to clicking damage. So that's why it just like it ends up being the most most popular role by far. And I agree with you that the fandom is. It's tough because I feel like every fandom has its good eggs and its bad eggs. But like the way they, the way the community operates, and specifically specifically the way it works in game, it's like you've got a team-based game, but there's really no form. Like you can do that, you can like pre-group up for a game, but that just. I mean, you never know. Like you could talk to someone for 3 minutes while you're queuing, and it seems fine, and then the game starts, and suddenly like they're exactly like everyone jokes about like the jokes are always about like Call of Duty, like jumping on like Halo or Call of Duty and like having some kid like yell slurs, but like at least in those games you're usually playing like some form of like free for all or whatever, where like you can at least punish them in game. You might not be able to do much else, but you can punish them in game. But like, remember when we like it was the same kids like twice in a row that we grouped up with like on 2 separate days, and they were like awful, like the worst possible like like the worst version of that like kid yelling slurs stereotype you can imagine. And we ran into them on 2 separate occasions
after reporting them the first time.
Exactly. And the most annoying thing, apart from the actual slurs, was the fact that they like were on our team and they were actually not terrible at the actual game. Yeah. And like
those games.
Like mechanically they were solid at the game. So there's like no way to
they're being rewarded in the game.
Yeah.
But like, and also I mean,
they need to put in a way for you to be able to like react to those scenarios without having to wait till the end of a match to report someone. Like there needs to be some sort of like safe way of like backing out of a match if you have someone like harassing you, you know, like maybe it's a situation where you leave, you lose SR, but you report them and you say like I left because they were like being toxic, and then if like the report goes through, they like grant you the SR back. I don't know. That's just off the top of my head. That's probably there's probably flaws to that idea, but like it's not specific to Overwatch, but it's definitely a problem in Overwatch for sure.
So like I feel like I follow a lot of like I mean, I don't know, I follow like gaming news in general, obviously, but I also like I don't play Destiny that much or at all anymore. Like I deleted off my PS4 for a fucking Call of Duty update, which
for an update.
I didn't think I would say that in 2020, but for an update, that's the thing.
Yeah, no, that's
but
yeah, so, they were just like, we're Call of Duty, we don't need to compress this, people will download it anyway.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck else are these kids gonna play? Like, you know, but also, to be fair, there are a lot of kids that just buy a PS4 for Call of Duty, and then
absolutely, yeah, and adults. I mean, not to generalize,
and adults. Yeah. But like, so like Call of Duty, they're kind of a known entity. They're kind of like, look, just by nature of us being like a military shooter, we're going to attract a certain breed. So like, we can't denounce arguably one of our biggest demographics. So like that's just one of those, like, if you play Call of Duty, you know that if you have a mic, I like pretty much every time I get a new Call of Duty, which is not often, but like if like when we got Modern Warfare on the PS Plus, like the free drops there, like my first go-to thing is, okay, change my crouch to tactical and then mute everybody.
Yeah.
like mute everybody, even if we're playing a domination or a demolition, like a team-based objective-based game, mute everybody, because even if you're not racist, you're blasting music, you're yelling at your family, you're doing dishes while playing somehow, your dog has beef with everybody else in the lobby and wants everyone to know, and for some reason you don't understand that I was gesturing to my old fucking to my headphones, but like you can mute yourself. You can do that. I do that so that motherfuckers don't hear me just mouth breathing, because that's uncomfortable in the middle of a game. Like I feel like the online etiquette of a lot of other games is fuck everyone else. I'm here. You can mute me if you want.
Yeah.
But like with Overwatch, at least, I mean, I feel like the intent of the game. Like I feel like the fact that by default you're put in team chat, like, and you have to like change your settings to opt out of that. Like the fact that they give you communication options, like even if you don't want to like speak directly, they want you to communicate with your team, because it's like team fights are won with coordination. Like it is a team-based game. Like you can't like, sure, like there are LeBron Jameses in basketball, but like he can't walk out there alone. Like he needs the 4 other people there with him. So like I feel like Overwatch as a game wants you to be a lot more cooperative than the 13-year-olds that we're running into are allowing. And like I don't want to say like oh, kids shouldn't play these games, because like 13-year-old me would have loved fucking Overwatch, but also 13-year-old me would have been one of those, like the amount of times that I've actually run into kids that and I can hear they don't even know how to pronounce puberty yet, but like pronounce puberty. Hey, do you guys want a Mercy or a Moira or whatever works best? And then they fucking do it. And if someone, if like, hey, can someone go Genji? If not, it's okay. Blah 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 blah. Like, it's not an age thing, because I've run into young, decent people.
Yeah.
So like it's definitely like it's either an upbringing thing, which we can't control that, but like we can police it. I feel like Blizzard can police it. Like I feel like I report at least 3 players every time I play. Like that's not me being like.
No. I'm like probably the same, honestly. Like especially for longer play sessions, like it. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like this is why I said like fandoms have like good and bad people. Like it's like Overwatch is a team-based game, so it probably like I would say I've run into significantly more good people at playing Overwatch than I have ever playing Call of Duty or any of those. Like because those games just don't ask you, like at least Overwatch to the very least asks you to work together. You don't have to. You can very much, like we were saying with those kids we ran into, like get away with just being horrible and still winning. But like there's a, you know, at least there are people on there who are trying, and you can get lucky and get and group up with them. But like I agree with you. I think that Blizzard needs to do a better job of controlling and like it. I mean, we're just seeing in so many ways now, like why policing the like not like having no control or moderation of the internet in general has like been a very bad move. Like especially now, like I don't know if we've talked about it on the show or if we've just talked about this separately, but like the fact that people still like pretend that the internet is some like, oh, it's like the Wild West out there. It's like, no, it's not. Your kids have access to it at all times. Like, let's put some restrictions up. Like forums should be moderated. Like communities should be moderated. Like this is not like, no, like you can't just pretend that like we've had it for 25 years now in the people's households. Like you can't just pretend that it doesn't matter because, oh, it's the internet. Like, no, I argued with my dad about that recently. He was like, oh, well, if people are just getting bullied online, they should get offline. I'm like, people's jobs are online.
Like I remember because I would argue with not even like argue, just like have conversations with random people about social media and like like just because I want desperately to just go off the grid, but I also have no other way of fucking staying in touch with people. And it's like I know that every time I log into Instagram and I like even one thing, that's information that some corporation knows about me. Like, whether or not it's like, oh, he prefers things in this ratio than this ratio, like whatever it is, they're getting some kind of information. Like, but also memes. Like I don't like I honestly don't remember where I was going with that. So full stop. I was gonna try to like riff until something happened, but I'm like, I don't know. Like I got distracted by the fucking sweat. I'm upset.
Do you want to take the sweater off? I won't judge you.
Yeah, riff.
Okay, so now I have to fill the dead air as Bo takes his sweater off, so he's not sweating through it while we record. Apparently, it's taking him a long time because he just went to the complete opposite side of the room just to do that. All right, he's back. Cool, I made it.
Didn't want to risk nudity like that one streamer that got bullied.
Oh wow, what?
Yeah, so I forgot what her name is, but some streamer. She was like doing some bit and like literally you can tell that it was not at all intentional, and she wasn't like, and I don't know the streamer at all, like outside of the incident and like the news around it, but like she was doing something, and like at one point I think she like her shirt got caught on something and like a little bit of underboob showed. Like I think it was just underboob,
right?
And Twitch bros were just like, ban her for banning her for ruining the fucking terms of service and the blah 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 blah. And I remember seeing that and being like, those guys are fucking idiots, and then moving on. So I have no idea what the fuck happened.
Damn.
But yeah,
I mean, see, that's why again, like moderation, like it has to be like on the topic of like modding like stuff. Like it can't just be, you know, like algorithmic either. Like that's the thing. Like I mean, this shit happens on YouTube all the time with content IDs, but like Twitch especially. Like Twitch is like honestly one of the better communal platforms for the people that like is like who actually can cultivate that kind of community. But it's there's been instances like that where they're like terms of service can be wielded like in a very shitty way towards like a lot of like women streamers and stuff like that. And it's like that's why you can't just be like, Oh yeah, like anything that falls under this term, like you need actual like people reviewing that stuff, you know. And it's not like Twitch.
Yeah, it
Like,
can't
isn't
just be
Twitch
robots.
owned by Amazon? I think they
Mhm.
are. So like they could easily
Yeah, they are.
hire more people to just like review that stuff in person and not just, you know, like have it
And
all be
also,
algorithmic. But I mean, that's the
also,
thing.
I
Like
feel like
YouTube too, owned by Google. Like they could,
Mhm.
yeah.
Like I feel like part of the incentive for companies to like moderate is not like it's kind of the opposite. Like they're kind of incentivized to not moderate because in the
Mhm.
case of Overwatch, like okay, so let's say you keep getting reported, like
Mhm.
you'll get suspended, but ultimately like if you get your account full on banned, you can still just buy another copy,
Yeah.
giving more money to Blizzard, and then you however long it takes for them to catch on to the fact that like, oh, this account needs to be banned too.
Hmm.
Like I know that, and then people will get into the whole like, well, maybe it'll be used against innocent people.
Hmm.
And I'm like, I agree, but we should hold companies accountable to that. But at the
Hmm.
same time, like we do know that companies can, or like game companies, game devs can just ban someone's IP address in general. So
Hmm.
like, even if they were to get a new console and get a new copy of the game, like, and like I know that it sounds like extreme to like, it's just a game, blah 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 blah. It's like if I'm hopping on Overwatch to not think about things, to just
Yeah.
like to just unwind,
Hmm.
like the amount of times that like the amount of times where like okay, honestly, I was really trying to think about like how many times this actually happened in my games. And I'm
Hmm.
just like, I think it happened the one time with those kids,
Hmm.
but then every other time, like, I don't know, just if anyone vocalizes themselves and they don't sound like a straight man,
Hmm.
like and I'm mostly reacting to I saw some fucking Twitter. I'm trying to think of the name of the goddamn streamer. But she put up a compilation of just like what it's like just like, and she was just playing League of Legends.
Hmm.
One of the MOBAs that I don't play.
Hmm.
Um, and just in text chat, like I don't even think she said anything other than
Hmm.
like she had her username with like her name in it, like a girl's name,
Hmm.
um, and just unwarranted toxicity. I know that like
Yeah.
League of Legends is like a specifically especially toxic. Like
I
I've
didn't even
played
know that.
I've played maybe 50 League of Legends games in my life,
Hmm.
and most of them, like
Really.
when I started up, I'd be like
Hmm.
that, and I didn't say, "Hey, I'm a black man." I was just like, "Hey, fucking, hey, new to the game. Any tips would be necessary." Down to like, down
Hmm.
to I'm in comms. I'm trying to learn. Like,
Hmm.
don't shit on me for not knowing things, but also like, if you have tips, I am open. Literally,
Yeah.
the first time I did that, someone replied, "Kill yourself." The first time, like
Yeah.
within seconds. So
Hmm.
like people are waiting, like ready and waiting. Like
Hmm.
gaming is a fucking like it's one of my favorite hobbies. I think it's a beautiful art form that should be
Hmm.
shared with everyone, but also I acknowledge that like shit's not safe for everyone. Like
Hmm.
I'm usually in the target demographic for games. Like I'm
Yeah.
a adult male. I'm 23-year-old male.
Hmm.
And I'm a gamer. So like
Hmm.
most like I should love jumping in and having like I don't know, the fact that I'm discouraged from participating in one of my favorite games in the
Hmm.
way that the and like this is without them seeing me. This is just
Hmm.
kids saying ridiculous shit.
Yeah.
And also I to the bad, I want to, to the
Yeah.
credit of all the other people. There was that one game where like our Mercy said something
Hmm.
and the kids started like being like, "Oh, like show us boobs, show us whatever." And everyone else in the chat was like, "Shut the fuck up."
Yeah.
And I acknowledge that that's probably like that's rare. That's probably a rare instance because I've
Hmm.
also seen a bunch of threads of like the chat is full of people are in the chat and then someone
Hmm.
says some sexist shit and then everyone goes silent. Like,
Hmm. Well, that's why I think people need to like, and like, I think primarily the onus is on the developers and the like people running, like who can do a better job of moderating these communities. But I will say that like I think we should feel like the times we have as players like grouped up with people who were cool. Like
mhm.
there was like a while we were playing with this one Mercy player, and then she invited one of her friends, and like we grouped
Yeah,
up to them like a handful of times, and
and they were
eventually they weren't very good, so we did stop playing with them. But for a while, like we were playing with these like pretty like real like very nice, very chill, friendly people, and we had like I think we were losing, but I was at least like not dealing with toxicity the entire time, you know,
I
and
remember
like
enjoying it. Like
it was like a good time, you know. It was better. It was exactly. It was better to like lose with good people than win with assholes. Honestly, like
because every time like there was a game last week where I like. So I started whenever I first of all I started like solo queuing again because I realized like I need to not like one of the reasons I just stopped playing alone was because I was like I'm too afraid to lose SR and blah blah blah. And I was like, for one thing, if I'm trash, then I'll be trash alone or with people. If I'm good, I'll be good alone or with people. Like y'all are asleep. Like like I realize I'm 3 hours behind you. I'm not gonna fucking wait. Hey, it's almost 2 a.m. You trying to play? Like
there were a couple times where I was just like, there's been a couple times in the past like years since I've been playing at home, like since graduating and stuff, where I would like be playing with you at like 3 a.m. and then you'd be like, yeah, I'm going to bed, and I'd be like, oh shit, I guess I should too. It's like, oh yeah, it's late for you. It's midnight there. I mean, it's only 3 a.m. here, but
oh, you're right. I should keep playing. No, it's okay.
Yo, sorry, this is off topic, but I at like 1 a.m. started watching like Empire Strikes Back last week when I was home. Okay. Like a week and a half.
I also, if you didn't hear that, I just reacted so hard when I did this, my fucking neck cracked. So go ahead. That's how surprised I was. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was talking to some of my friends, and one of them like brought up like just pulling an all-nighter, and I was like, you know, I used to enjoy doing that like as a week, like for fun, like in high school and shit. Like on a Saturday night I would just like stay up all night watching shit on my computer and like just fucking sleep all Sunday, like who cared. So I was just like at like 10 p.m. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna stay up, why not, like let's see if I can enjoy this. Like so I made some coffee at 10 p.m, poured a little tequila in it, and then like,
oh, you committed. Oh no.
Yeah, no, I did. So but it was so sad. I think we played Overwatch till like midnight, and then I can't remember. I think I like watched YouTube videos for an hour, and then like I had decided like, oh yeah, if I'm gonna watch a movie tonight, I'm gonna watch Empire. So then I started it at 1, and then like halfway through the movie, I just like completely like all the energy just flew out of me like a fucking rocket. And for the rest of the movie, like every 5 minutes, I was like, to the point where I would be like half asleep hearing myself snore. Like, I would just be lying there like hearing it for a good minute, and then be like, all right, I'm watching a movie, and then like keep watching. And like if it was something I hadn't seen before, I would have like paused it and saved it for the like the morning. But I was just like, if I just like wake up halfway through this movie, I'll know where I'm at, so it's fine. Like but eventually, so I ended up going to sleep at like 3:30, which is like honestly not that much later than usual when I'm home. And then like the next day I was like a zombie for like most of the day until I took an hour-long nap at like 5 p.m. But it was so not worth it. It was such a I felt so old. I was like, I could do this so easily 5 years ago.
Like I've never really had the ability to take naps successfully. Like if I'm out, I'm fucking out. Like, so even if it's like I could be exhausted, but I'll be like I'll just make coffee and stay up until like 8 and then pass out because I just can't. If I go into REM during the middle of the day, I will stay there for quite some time.
Oh, believe me, I know.
Yeah, like yeah. I slept through
just
an earthquake.
Mean looks from you in our dorm room at like 3 p.m. while you're trying to sleep. Dude, I'm sorry.
And like I don't know. I know that like if I'm cranky, I'm one of like I hate myself when I'm cranky. Like I get it. And like honestly, so I've also Sleepy Bobo has become a lot more common because I've definitely told you this a bunch, but I've like become more try hard with my coffee game. So like
you've brought up a bunch where you take 20 minutes to make a cup of coffee.
Yeah, but it's really good. It's really good. Like it is worth it.
I'm genuinely jealous of it. I just like, you know, it does take a while.
Yeah, like damage queues are like 10, 12 minutes. It takes me a good 17. So like the whole I'm gonna make a quick cup of coffee before we start the next game, that's just out the window now. That's just gone. So because of that, like if I wake up and I'm like extra tired, I'm way more incentivized to just like lay there for an hour, like in that weird. And also Juice will start like, so Juice's whole thing is he wants to be fed at 5 a.m. regardless of whether I'm asleep or not, and he will wake me up, and then I'll feed him, and then it's like a coin toss for whether or not I actually fall back asleep.
Yeah.
And then if I do, I will usually get woken up in like a good 10 minutes, because once he's done eating, he likes to just run laps around my body on my bed for some fucking reason. Like,
dude, I feel you so hard with my fucking dogs. Like, so, Chase is my crazy dog, but in the mornings, he is like fine. Like, he will stay in bed until I get out of bed. Like, he's just like, he's a lap dog. When he's chill, he's just a lap dog. So he'll lie next to me. But Rita will get up, like, regardless of when we go to sleep, she's up at 6 a.m. to like go for a walk and have food. So like when I'm responsible for her, like if my dad's not around, or if my brother's not around, I'm responsible for her. I'm like up, I walk her. It takes 20 minutes to walk her and then feed her. So that's at least at least a half hour. If I'm lucky, I'm back in bed at 6:30. So then I'll sleep. But then from about 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. literally every day, Rita is barking at something or nothing, but it's garbage men, it's other people walking their dogs, it's the post office, and it's nothing too. It's also just sometimes nothing, and it's
she's just paranoid, like, where the fuck is that mailman?
Like, and so on the days I don't have to walk her, like, I'm lucky if I sleep till 9, because it's literally, and like there have been mornings where I'm just lying there, like trying so hard to go back to sleep at like 9:30, and it's just incessant, continuous barking the entire time. And I love her with all of my heart, but I don't know why she hates mornings so much. Like, it's really frustrating.
The sun is on fire. Do you not see this? The sun is on fire. We have to do something about this.
Falls. What if it comes down, and what are we gonna do? Everything will be on fire.
Where does it go during the nighttime?
It's back. I mean, but honestly, it could be the sun. It wouldn't shock me, because she is like, we have like a little doggy bed for her in the living room, and like from like 7 p.m. to whenever we go to sleep, she's on that doggy bed not making a fucking noise. So like, maybe it is the sun. Maybe she just
correlates the sun to, maybe she's like, okay, so humans are like solar powered. So when the sun goes away, the humans shut down, and I need the humans to stay the fuck up. So I need to motivate the sun to stay awake, to keep the humans up.
Honestly, you're probably not far off. Like, they definitely like follow our clocks to some degree. Like they know like our lines of activity. So like Chase, again, crazy as hell most of the time, but in the middle of the day when people are normally at work, he's fine. Like, he is totally fine. But then like right around his like feeding times, it's just like you move and he's doing Also, I thought of an idea the other day for a TikTok or a Vine or whatever, like a short video.
We don't use TikTok anymore.
I know, although apparently they came out trying to say that was like a glitch.
Fuck
yeah, I don't believe that. Like that. What does that mean? Like,
no, fuck them into the ancient dirt. Yeah. No, they can go straight past hell.
But of just like recording Chase while he's spinning behind me, and then just play the Avengers Endgame audio and try to like edit someone coming through like the portal, or him forming the portal. I have this idea and I really want to figure out how to do it. Like, I don't know if I have like the like siege, like I don't know if I can do graphics to like make that happen.
You don't have the technology.
Yeah, I don't think I know how to wield the technology.
Great. That would be great though.
Just on your left. Oh, it's just him fucking
Oh, Kitty Boy is being annoying now. Not annoying. I love him so much. I'm just gonna let him in. Meow. I know. Meow. Welcome to the show, Juicy. What would you like to say?
Welcome to the show, Juicy Defined.
Juicy to find. Yeah, honestly, so that's the big announcement. I am quitting Loosely Defined and being replaced by my cat. I will be his agent, so you'll still see my voice in his work. But I just want you, Kitty boy. What do you actually want to be a part of the show? What's going on? Please actually be okay. I don't know if I'm ready emotionally. If you're not, okay. Now you're just licking yourself. You're good. Okay.
All right. Want to go into the movie this week?
Yeah, please.
All right, cool. Yeah, we watched Lovebirds or The Lovebirds on Netflix this week, and yeah, what'd you think? Porter.
I don't want to. There we go. I don't want to go as far as to say like it is a perfect movie, but I like genuinely was like I don't see any issues, any flaws throughout this. Like, I think it was perfectly paced. I think that Kumail and Issa Rae are fucking amazing to get. Like I was very aware that it was Kumail Nanjiani and Issa Rae. I was very aware. I was very aware that like this is their moment. Like, will they met them? And I feel like they nailed it. Like I feel like they knew it too. They were just like, hey, look, this is going to be like. There have been fireworks in my neighborhood since Memorial Day, for the record.
Okay. Yeah. No, it fully sounded like, especially because there's like the scene in the movie where they're just like banging on the window trying to get inside.
That was probably my favorite. Of just like at the one point of just they're trying to stay quiet, and then both of also full spoilers for Lovebirds.
Full spoilers
for movies. No, I don't know if for some reason this is your first time. With Movies Defined, we pick a movie and then watch it every week.
We spoil the shit out of it while we talk about it.
The shit out of it, with the intent being that you guys can join us when you watch and comment. I thought that the like that whole from the beginning of them breaking in there to seeing the frat boys to seeing Mustache, like I thought that was great, and the way that they revealed that Mustache was there just by him kicking the fuck out of everyone and then shooting Kid and like all
the stuff happening in the background,
that was really cool. That's probably my favorite scene. That said, I do want to call out the fact that it is eerily similar to the movie Date Night.
Yes.
With Steve Carell and Tina Fey, to the point where I guessed that Mustache was a cop before they revealed that he was a cop.
I haven't seen that movie, but I know the premise of it, so I did make that connection as well. But is that something that literally happens in that movie too?
I mean, in Date Night, they do it. They make the twist like it seems like it's a little earlier. It's like one of those things where it's like, instead of it being like, oh, this is the big twist, it's like, this is a wrinkle. Like, it's okay, they can't go to the cops because they are cops. Haha. Like,
it was very similar to not as similar, like
Night, I guess.
But it was similar to this movie Game Night too that came out like a year or two ago.
I never saw that. I needed to.
But and it was similar mostly in terms of the vibe, because it was like this couple. Like or in that movie it's like a number of couples, but it's basically like shit goes from bad to worse, and then at the end they're like, you know, shooting people or whatever. But it felt like that movie. And honestly, like I think I would have more criticisms of this movie if it weren't like didn't have like the both Game Night and this I think have this vibe where it's just like and I don't know how many, like we don't get enough of these anymore, like just straight comedy. It's just like if the characters act dumb, it's fine, it's a comedy. If the characters like, you know, if something ridiculous happens, it's fine, it's a comedy. Like it like, you know, I think this, like I've noticed this with TV shows too, like so many like new comedies that come out are like sad. Like, you know what I mean? Like they're just too real, and the characters are like, and you know, like it's nice to see something like this, which is just two like really talented comedic actors just being funny together. Like the scenario's crazy, but they're just being funny, you know.
So I feel like with like them both being funny people, I kind of went in with like a given. Like if, even if this movie was dog shit, I would have been like, well, it's not Issa or Kumail's fault. Like that's the director's fault for misusing Issa Rae and fucking Kumail Nanjiani. Like if you have those two actors with that premise and you fuck it up, that is so on you. So like I don't even know who the fuck directed this movie, but like
his name looked familiar, but I forgot to look him up.
I did no research other than watching the movie. I mean, I thought that, and also so Mustache, that guy, he was in. I was trying to figure out, like, as I was like, I know you're from something. I've seen you before. He's from Waco. Like, he was in Waco. He's one of like the main like cult members or whatever. It took me a good hour to figure. I didn't look it up. Like, it just I had to like see his face from. I don't know. It just clicked. But I'm like, that guy was great because he's unrecognizable in this versus what he is in Waco. So like, and he's still got the mustache in Waco. So I thought it was just a facial hair thing. It's not.
This is gonna be weird, but I honestly got Tim Robinson vibes from him.
A little bit, yeah. No,
like in like just the skits where Tim Robinson. I'm trying to think of. I'm trying to remember specifically which one I'm thinking of, but he has like the similar mustache and hair, and like I got those vibes from him, and it kind of made me wish it was him. Like I want to see him start popping up in movies.
I'm gonna beat up my ex-husband or my ex-wife's husband, Danny Crow.
Yes, yeah, I think it's that one. Yeah. Come here, you little fuck. I just looked up the director. He's the same guy who directed The Big Sick, which makes sense.
The Big Sick was the one with Kumail and Emily Gordon.
It's the one, the Kumail one and he also wrote Wet Hot American Summer. So he's like
that. I heard it was good though.
Yeah, he's like he's got some pedigree here, it seems. Cool. So yeah.
Okay. Then this, if it was a failure, then this would have been a curse from God because that's a winning team, from what I understand.
It's funny. This feels like such a like the pinnacle of what a Netflix movie is now, which is like a fairly like this doesn't do anything groundbreaking. It's not like changing the game in any way. It's a fairly like like you could not see this and it's not that big a deal. Like it's a fairly like and I'm not trying to be like critical of it, like, but it's just like it's a fun, hour and a half, and the only like that kind of movie would have been like a low budget movie that kind of came and went in a theater. But now because like Netflix has all this clout, it's that, but with two of the biggest stars right now.
Yeah,
like that's like the what Netflix can do is like take something that would be completely forgettable and throw like names at it and more talent and a bunch of promotion.
I personally like, it's probably because I'm an urban youth, but like I got a shit ton of ads for this movie. So like I was aware of it. I was like, this could go one of two ways, like you said, like either completely missable or like I really like, the more I think about it, I'm just like, this was a very airtight movie. Like I can't think of really anything that would like. It also did a good job of like when it was supposed to get scary, I thought it actually was scary. Like I was genuinely worried for like I was invested in their relationship to the point where I'm just like, hey, I do want you to get back together, not just because the movie is telling me that that's the plot.
The scene in the interrogation room,
that was
the two guys on the other side are like, I hope they stay together. I like them.
And then
stuff like that is great.
The immediate like, I don't even know what to call it because it's like it's releasing tension, but it was also one of those like, I don't know, because part of this movie, when you were talking about it like just being a like dumb comedy where people are acting dumb, half of me was just like, well, no, because I feel like they put enough consideration into the like I was watching it with Annie and like over FaceTime, and when they broke through the window, she was like, wait, like is she walking in with bare feet because that's gonna break the glass? And she wasn't, and then they stole more shoes. So I was like, okay, so you're doing a good job. Like I'm one of those people that like Inglourious Bastards is one of my favorite movies of all time. But one of my favorite moments in that movie is when Brad Pitt's bow tie goes from being done to undone to being done to being undone, but on one shoulder. In the same, like it's cutting back and forth between continuity errors. Yeah, it's continuity. It's one of my favorite. Like every time, like I make sure that I'm at the TV for that scene because I love dumb shit like that. I couldn't find anything like that in this, like where they covered up enough of the like plot hole bullshit. Like it's I feel like it's a smart comedy too. And like
that's the thing. I don't mean dumb.
The intrigue was actually there.
When I mean dumb, I mean more that the characters themselves are dumb, and like that's not like a mistake. Like I don't think the writer was like not aware of what they were doing. You know, like I think it's pretty clear that like. Especially the scene in the interrogation room where they just start admitting to stuff that they don't have to. It's like the joke, part of the joke is that you're sitting there like, oh my God, shut up, you know? And like, that's kind of the vibe throughout the entire movie is like, you just want them to like, shut up and make the smart decision and they don't. And that's fine. Like, cause like, that's the movie, you know?
I mean, part of the reason why, like, so I brought that interrogation scene, like one of the reasons I thought it was so fucking great is that when the main detective, whose name I don't even know
if they give her a name.
I'm sure they gave her a name. Yeah. Like, I'm detective this, and then every other time I'm going to be detective because for the most part they're fucking evading the cops and hanging up and shit. But her walking in and just being like, why would you think that you like pointing out the absurdity of the actual premise of the movie,
Mm-hmm.
where it's like, even because like I was thinking like, yeah, they would totally have fucking police footage. Like, why would you run in that situation? Like, what's
Yeah.
the point? Like the characters, the crazy night and their horrible situation happened because they were dumb. Like in that, like,
oh, that scene
like
of the fucking two randos calling the cops.
Yeah, like, and the just the at one point they cut to the news and there was like video of the guy with like selfie over over the body, just like I don't know, I don't know, like
all that stuff was really good.
Like, also shout out. I mean, okay, okay, we don't want to objectify people. Obviously, Issa Rae is a good-looking person, but just the outline on Kumail Nanjiani's pecs was inspiring.
That's something I wanted to.
I did push-ups after watching this shit. Like I'm ready. Like, just good for him. From Silicon Valley to this shit, good for him.
Yeah,
like,
I wanted to point that out because I was watching it with Kylie, and like as soon as the movie started, I turned to her and I'm like, this was after he got in Marvel shape. Like I was like, you can just tell. Look at his neck. Like there's too many veins in his neck. There's no way.
His fucking arms. Like
and they kept putting like slightly loose fitting stuff on him to make him not look like a superhero, because like
make him look like a documentarian.
Even the scene, I was paying close attention, mostly because I wanted to see his chest. But when they pull his shirt off to like tend his like horse kick wound, which I have another thing about that in a second, but I was like, they did not at any point show an entire shot of his entire upper torso, because otherwise they would have to be like, why
they'd have to address it in the movie.
Like
with all of the covering up the plot holes or whatever, they would have to have a scene where he like comes downstairs and his button is undone, and then one of the other people is like, wow, you worked at I did a documentary about superhero about CrossFit. I did a documentary about CrossFit. That was
but okay, the whole horse kicking thing.
Yep.
So
he should have been dead, right?
Well, yes. Yeah. But after that happens, him being able to turn and be like, take the grease. No, like, I'm sorry, you're fine. Like you seem fine. You've got a big bruise, but that's it. In no world is having boiling hot bacon grease poured on your head.
No,
we're like not as bad as getting like apparently like kicked kind of hard, but like, yes, he should have died.
He should have been dead. But in this universe, if I see that we have plot armor, I'm using the plot armor.
That's what I'm saying.
Like plot armor doesn't cover disformity. It just gives you a harder arc later on. Like, it's just watch anime. It'll save your life one day. No, anyone with a scar is going to suffer because for some that's what anime says. So either emotionally or physically, or they're going to see something that they don't want to see or some shit. Or they're usually, if you have a big scar and you're a little anime boy, your dad doesn't like you and he usually burned you. But then we don't, I'm not saying that, after this Issa Rae would have been able to throw fireballs, but like,
I wouldn't doubt it.
I would watch that movie.
Yeah, this felt like the kind of thing where like the two of them probably like knew each other through like comedy or whatever, and we're just like, let's do a movie together. And then someone was like, hey, this script's like been floating around, like you could do that. And they're like, yeah, sure. And then get the director who made his like Oscar-winning movie with him like to come do this, and they probably shot it in like a pretty short time relatively. And again, it's like, it's the Netflix model. It's like, yeah, we'll take it.
Yeah, like, I mean, wasn't it gonna have a theatrical release before this, or was it still Netflix funded before?
I assumed it was a Netflix original, like completely, full stop. But
I remember seeing it was like advertised for.
Maybe.
I thought it was advertised for a theatrical release.
You might be right, actually. Shoot, because they've been advertising this for a while.
Yeah, I remember, and I thought they had to delay it or something.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember when I first saw ads for it, they weren't advertising it as like a wacky like comedy. Like I remember seeing ads that were like
a date movie.
Like it was like a date movie with these two, but I could be wrong.
I mean, I remember it being like it's like an action rom-com almost. Like,
okay.
Like the fact that, because I don't know, like going into it, I was like, okay, so their relationship is going to be one of the like prominent, like it should be like for my expectations of it, was like it should be funny, and then it should make me care about their relationship, and I feel like it did both of those things very well. Yeah,
like even though I saw a bunch of ads, it still felt like I was going in blind, because like once they hit the dude on the bike, like I was like surprised, like I didn't know that was the like.
Oh no, that wasn't the trailer.
Yeah, see, like that. I guess I didn't see like any recent trailers because I was like completely like not taken off guard like that much. It became clear what it was pretty quickly, but like I didn't realize it was about to turn into like all of that. That ended up happening, especially as this like the fucking weird cult thing.
Making that up. Yeah, the weird cult thing. I was actually really scared of that because at one point when they turn on the lights and they had all the bird masks, I was like, this is the Court of Owls movie I always wanted. No, it's not. This isn't Batman. Like,
imagine in the Robert Pattinson Batman, it's the Court of Owls, but it's all an orgy.
No, okay, no. So, okay, talking Batman, the Rocksteady game that is also I'm assuming if I don't know, I don't want to make this like the early like the next topic, but like I know that you and I personally haven't talked about it that much. PS5 reveal on Thursday.
Oh yeah, I guess we'll have to talk about that next week. Yeah, I saw that was happening.
The connection being the long-standing rumor of Rocksteady's next Batman game to like continue the Arkham series, whatever. It's going to be like revolving around Court of Owls. So like I am like literally I read that whole fucking arc on the bus to basketball games in high school. Like that was my like warm up. Like like let's fucking go. There's me on my fucking tablet, just like no, I'm ready, coach. Just shut up.
If I don't get to this last panel, I won't be ready. Yeah, no, we can definitely talk about that next week with or without the actual Batman reveal. But the PS5 stuff should be interesting. Yeah,
I'm excited.
Yeah, I hope if they do a new Batman game, they can kind of get away from the Arkham stuff and just make a Batman game. Like so.
I honestly don't have any feelings either way, and I feel like I should. But I'm
also it would just be like forcing it to me if the next game is like Arkham battle. I don't know. Like it's just like just make another Batman game. It can be in the same universe. It can be the same like style of gameplay, but just like don't like I feel like the progression from like Arkham Asylum to Arkham City to Arkham Knight was like okay, you did it. Like you know what I mean? I just mean like it doesn't like I get that it's called the Arkham series, but like if it's just Rocksteady's Batman series, like I don't need them to continue the Arkham legacy, like
because especially as they venture out, because like I personally am like they could totally just say like Batman Court of Owls.
And there you go. If it's developed by Rocksteady, same universe, everything, but
just like out of take 1 year before Arkham Knight, like some bullshit.
Yeah, I'd be down for another prequel. I enjoyed Arkham Origins more than most, so yeah. All right, so next week, for Movies Defined, we are watching.
Wait.
I thought that was going to be a Pokemon hat for a second.
No, but it's not. I'm trying to do the Pokemon, the Ash Ketchum hat turnaround.
I'm excited to do this. We're watching Mewtwo Strikes Back, Dash Evolution, the remake in
Why not?
CD. Yeah, it seemed like from what I can tell from the trailers, it looks like a like
1-to-1 pretty much
1-to-1 remake. Yeah, like essentially what they did with Lion King, except lower budget. Like
I don't know. I just remember watching the trailer for like this one, like the remake, like watching the trailer and getting a certain level of hype I didn't know I could get. But then after a while being like right as you showed that image, I was like, fuck, I still don't know how I feel about the new art style.
Yeah. I'm going in with an open mind. But yeah, I mean, I'm indifferent right now, but I'm trying to just not even have indifference. Like I'm trying to just be like, okay, like let's see if this works, because I don't like I saw a lot of like the same kind of thing I saw with Lion King, where it was like, oh, they're taking all the personality out of it, and I'm like, come on, like I think that's a little harsh. Like there's there's artists who still worked really hard on it. Like I want to see if this works in like the length of a full movie. I mean, because it's definitely weird because I know that movie incredibly well. I watched it like a bunch as a kid, like so. Yeah.
At my elementary school, we would have, or before I went to the Christian one, because they would not approve of this. But like for the after school, like basically, hey, all the kids, shut the fuck up, go over there. We're gonna go smoke weed somewhere. Um, we're gonna put on one of the Pokemon movies because they had like all of them. And like I remember, I realized at one point like I hadn't seen the first one, and I watched the first one, and it fucking devastated me in front of all my friends.
Yeah.
So I'll be watching it alone. So hopefully,
dude, those first couple Pokemon movies are so dank.
We all live in a Pokemon world.
I would love that. I would love that. I'm like, I've already decided that after I watch this for the show, I'm just gonna go and watch Pokemon 2000, like, because it's so good. That's my favorite one. Yeah.
Because Pokemon 3 or the Pokemon movie 3, whatever the third.
That's the one with Entei.
Yeah.
Yeah. That one I've only seen once. Like,
okay, because I've seen that the most. But 2000 is probably just off of like what I'm remembering right now. 2000 is probably my favorite.
It was weird because like the first 3 I think all got theatrical releases in the United States. So like I was too young for the first 2, but the third one came out and I wanted to see it, but my mom was like, "No, like you have to stay home." So I didn't see it. And I think I maybe saw it as a kid later on, but like I barely remember it. And then like later on when I was on a nostalgic trip in like high school, I finally watched it. And I was like, yeah, this is pretty good. But you know, those first 2 were like VHSs that I ran through over and over and over again. So
dude, remember VHSs?
Yeah. I still have a couple that I pop in on occasion. Because they're not available. Well, because they're not available on anything else. It's not like a nostalgic thing. Although there is something like kind of nostalgic.
Like deciding to watch fucking VHSs of The Office or something, which doesn't make sense. But
yeah, I'm pretty sure that came after.
Just don't question my internal joke logic.
I won't. All right. I think that's all we got today. I know Bo has to pee, so I'm gonna let him.
Very, very desperately.
All right. So follow us at Define Loosely on Twitter, at Loosely Defined on Instagram. Check out the links in the description, like we said before. Support people where you can. Use your voice for good. These are tough times, so we should stick together. Yeah.
Black Lives Matter. Stay loose.
Don't stay loose on that.
No, not on that. Not on that.
Stay very firm in that position.
Stay informed. Stay safe. Express your voice. Do what you got to do.
Yeah. All right.
Goodbye.